out in theaters now. Go give it a watch. Since I can't make a movie versus movie video comparing Man of Steel to Superman, they're two completely different fucking films. I want to talk about Superman more. I made a spoiler-filled, spoiler-free video too in the movie review of Superman last night. I'll leave it in the link in the description, guys. Give that a watch. But let's just talk about some of the things that resonated with me, and we'll talk about box office in general audiences right after. But some of the things I really liked about this film, surprisingly, were David Cornsweet is really, like, even just like 24 hours later, growing on me as Superman. He is a guy, human likability to him as an actor and a character in this film. And I think James Gunn's best strength is letting us relate as much as possible to a hero, the strongest superhero of all time, even though he gets his ass kicked a lot in this film. But thinking about this now too, I love how the film opens up with a little crawl, so to speak, like in Star Wars, but very little ones, just talking about his past. We get right into the film. We see he's beat up. He lost his first battle today. Let's get into it against the Hammer of Borvea, something like that. I like that whole aspect to it, but it kind of got abandoned a little quickly, I noticed too, even though we know that the Hammer of Borvea is Ultraman. And I also, getting all over the place here, it just was like different persona covering up a character, so to speak, and just to make Superman look bad. Makes sense. I get it. I do really like how Lex is controlling Ultraman. I thought that was really cool. I like that he's just pulling the strings, punch this way, punch that way, because in a sense, Ultraman is just a dumb person. Hence, after he gets sucked through that black hole, guys, I'm willing to bet that in the future, we're going to see Ultraman as Bizarro. I feel like they're setting that up. And honestly, a lot of people were kind of bitching about the reveal of it being David Cornsweet. People are thinking it's going to be Henry Cavill and stuff like that. I kind of figured it wasn't going to be Henry Cavill. If he ever gets to return, I would love to see Henry Cavill as Kingdom Come Superman, older Superman, if they ever do multiverse. But I will say, going into that pocket universe and stuff like that, it gets me a little worried because I have talked about this on my channel very vocally with any Marvel film, and I will say about DC films too. The Flash, it being The Flash, I don't like multiverse. I'm so tired of it. I want it to be done with. And here we are in the newest DC movie, and we're diving briefly, hopefully briefly, into the multiverse. Because we have Peacemaker, obviously, in this universe, and they're going to intertwine the Peacemaker that we know from Season 1 to Season 2, whatever. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea what they're going to do with that, but I am intrigued. That's one of the best things I was saying to my friends after coming out of this movie is I'm so excited for this universe now, and I don't want it to just not exist, and I want this film to do really good, and I just want to see these stories continue. And I think that's the best praise that you could give a film like this. Because this film is not just a Superman film. It is a film that is setting up a brand new cinematic universe. It's the kickoff, so to speak. And I think, in that sense, it does exceptionally well. Is it a perfect movie? Fuck no. There's a couple things that still bother me. Like I said, the runtime. I wanted to see more from Perry White, Jimmy Olsen. I think he was a really cool character in this film. I forgot who plays Jimmy Olsen in the film, but I thought he was great. I wanted to see a little bit more heartfelt. I think sometimes the humor kind of ruined the heartfelt moments, specifically a Lois and Clark moment that we see that giant sphere in the background that I always thought was going to be like the third act, but it was just a spoof type thing that the Justice Gang is fighting in the background. And it kind of gets a little distracting that you see this spoof thing they make into a joke while Lois and Clark are having a heartfelt conversation. Now, I was able to tune it out a little bit for sure, but I don't like, that's why I was saying in my review, 90% of the humor works in this film. But that 10% does stick out, don't get me wrong. There's a scene towards the end of the movie. I really love the scene. It's between Superman and Lex, and Superman's explaining why he's an imperfect person and how he's human, and Lex just doesn't agree with it. It makes sense. Classic Lex Luthor. But in a moment like that, I took it in, and I really liked that scene a lot. But Krypto comes in and beats the shit out of fucking Lex after. So, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, you have these moments, but the humor doesn't always work in these situations. but I still respect the moments, if that makes sense. I think a lot of things with Lex in this film, I cannot wait to see more Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I think he was phenomenal in that sense. He's on par as good as David Cornsweet, I think, and Rachel Brosnahan. We'll talk about her in just a second too. But there's a scene, probably the darkest scene in the film, where he's playing roulette with a guy that the guy's only crime was that he helped out Superman, and he blows his brains out by the second trigger pull. And he didn't think it was going to happen. That's what I'm saying. He's fucking... I like Lex a lot in this film. I thought Nicholas Hoult is he's a great actor. So to speak, he's on par with as good as David Cornsweet playing Superman. I just can't wait, though, to see more dynamics between Rachel Brosnahan and David Cornsweet. Their chemistry is great, and she is great as Lois Lane. One thing I will say, that's the only thing I can compare, is Rachel Brosnahan is miles better than Amy Adams as Lois Lane. Rachel does not feel that damsel in distress, anything like that. She's an investigative journalist who's got full-on balls, and she does things on her own, and I really, really like that. And I like that she's not just like, oh, save me, Superman, nothing like that. It works a lot for me. But I just wanted to see a little bit more of her and David's scenes fleshed out. I wanted to see more Ma and Pa Kent. Those scenes really hit home. They are very relatable, very emotional. And the film is an emotional movie, don't get me wrong. But I will say that if they just added 10 more minutes, maybe 15 at most, I think the film would have been, and added more of the emotional, serious, like, conversations and things like that, I think it would have been, like, I don't know how to say it, because I really like this film, but, like, more or less just would have made it even better, so to speak. With that being said, all the action's great in the film. Like I said, there's about a couple CGI sequences that didn't work for me. Superman's lazy eye scene is still in the movie, so whatever. James Gunn said it wasn't, but it is. The score is beautiful. John Murphy and David Fleming, I believe, did the score, and I think it's a beautiful score, pays homage to Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel score, and obviously the John Williams classical score. I thought I was going to hate the suit in the movie. I really like the suit in the movie. Mr. Terrific and the Justice Gang is great. Like I said, Hawkgirl does nothing in the film. I'm not going to lie. I do like Isabella Merced as an actress, so I'm intrigued to see what she does in Peacemaker. My biggest fear going into this film was the Justice Gang, that they're going to overshadow Superman, and they don't. And I love Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner. I love Mr. Terrific in the film. I thought he was a fucking badass. I want to see more of it. That's what I keep saying, is I want to see more from this universe. And let's hope we get more from this universe. And that's going to dive right into my next aspect talking about box office, how I think this film is going to do. But with that being said, guys, the Supergirl cameo was cool. I think it was all right, cool. I mean, I just rather see her in her solo movie. She's a drunk. It seems like she's going to be following more of a depression style story or something like that, I guess, because she seems like a wreck in the film. Don't know how I feel about like Krypto being her dog. I'd rather have Superman. It's Superman's dog, but whatever. I think everything in the Fortress of Solitude looked fucking cool. Jor-El, that message, so to speak, that was getting altered, whether it was altered or real. I really like the message of the film. I think it's action-packed, it's fun, it's got joy, it's got heart, it's got humor, and it works for me. It really does work for me. It's the Superman comic book movie that you guys, or like that I think, holy fuck, we need. But that being said, let's talk about what my projections are with box office, what it's going to get opening weekend. I really do think that this film domestically is probably going to get anywhere from 120 to 150 domestically. I don't know what the worldwide box office will be for this film. My biggest fear is that this film, like I said in my review, it took me 15 or 20 minutes to realize this is completely different than what I was expecting, but I'm ready for the ride, if that makes sense. And it's like getting immersed in this world with all this technology, with the kaijus, with these super beings and things like that. It takes you a little bit to get into it, no matter what. Even someone like me that's a comic book movie fan. So with that being said, with general audiences, I think it's going to do well. I really do think that it's going to resonate with general audiences. They made Superman more human, a little more flawed with like his powers. They definitely nerfed him a little bit. I will say right now, the only thing I can say is, what Superman's stronger, Henry Cavill's Superman or David Cornsweet's Superman? Henry's is definitely by far, because the power levels are way different in both of these films. But I would say that Henry's Superman is definitely stronger, so to speak. But I think that this film is actually going to succeed. I do. I think it's going to even be profitable. I don't know if this film is going to make $1 billion. Fuck, I hope it does. I don't know though, because I heard a lot of people, I was listening to people's reactions coming out of the theater. By the way, I'm going to see it again tonight and next week, Tuesday. And I went to see this film in IMAX. I'm going 2 more times in IMAX. If you guys got an IMAX theater, definitely go see it in IMAX. It is full screen. We came out of a sold out theater too. It was pretty insane. I think it's sold out tonight too. But what I will say is that with this film, out of this film, I heard a lot of people's reactions. Actually, the whole theater clapped, so that was good too. But what I noticed, a lot of people were saying they liked it and that, but I heard a few people say that was a really good movie, but I don't need to go see that again. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a trend with this movie, where people really, really liked it, but the second week box office drops more than usual. I feel like that's a possibility. Usually, on average, box offices, second weeks drop maybe 60%. Maybe this one will be 65%. But I think this film will be profitable. I really do. If we look at Rotten Tomatoes, it kicked off with a 90. It's down to an 85, 84%. I think it's going to level out at 80 to 78, which is great. But the audience score is what you should look at too as well. So we know the critics like it. It's certified on Rotten Tomatoes, but the audience score is at a 95, and people are really having fun with this film. And I think kids are going to love this film, and I think it's going to really attract families to see this film. So with that being said, I do think it's going to be profitable. I think it's going to succeed well. I really do, and I hope it does. I just don't know if it'll hit that billion. I mean, Minecraft was one of those once in a blue moon situations where it came out in, what was it, March, and it hit a fucking $1 billion. And the only thing I would say about this film is we have Jurassic World still in theaters. We also have Fantastic Four coming up too. So it's hard to say. But guys, let me know your thoughts below. Did you see Superman? Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Or what did you like? What did you not like about it? And do you guys think that Superman is going to be profitable in the box office and succeed? Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you guys real soon.